We did create this from whole cloth. No one did a lot of companies have talked about wanting to do this, but no one really did it. So we worked within our teams to kind of stand this up through what we call a benefits captive. We have control over the coverages we offer through the captive, and then we did seek out an insurance company, obviously, to help us administer it, because we're not claims adjudicators, we're not claims experts, so we need help in doing that. But we did stand up the design on our own, and we believe, now maybe, I can tell you at the time we instituted it, there was no other plan like it in the world, and when we went to this multinational insurance company, this name that people would recognize, when we went to them and told them what we were doing, they were impressed. They thought it was a novel idea, and they said, let us look, because they didn't have a ready product to administer it, and so we had to work with them also on the administration side to get this going. We're hoping, by the way, that people do emulate it, because we think it's a great idea. It really does help bring up people in other countries where, for whatever reason, the local structure of health coverage still has these major gaps in them. Since the pandemic, of course, we're seeing much more hybrid work, and that has added another dimension to things that potentially increases the need for well-being support. For instance, we know that people are much more dispersed these days. At Microsoft, the advent of hybrid work has seen a greater percentage of our employees hired outside of Redmond, Washington, where our headquarters are. That's a relatively recent phenomenon. Also, sometimes we know that the lines between work and life can get blurred. People, they like the saving and time and effort of not having to commute, but then perhaps they power on the laptop a little early in the day or keep it on a little later, and those have multiplied our challenges. So I think we're proud that our overall holistic well-being strategy not just is excellent or exceptional at a point in time, but that also moves with the challenges we face in the workforce. I mean, my team and I are, a lot of credit to the team too, are constantly checking with the business, checking with our leaders to see, as we evolve as a company, as circumstances change out of the pandemic into maybe some rough economic waters, are we doing everything we can to support our employees, their families, and ultimately the business? I would say that it's not so much brand new benefits that spring up, but rather different ways to connect with people on the benefits you have. So with greater remote work, we find ourselves looking at greater opportunities to connect with people virtually. So virtual care, making sure that occupies a place in our health plan, in our mental well-being benefits, having apps like Happify and Headspace available through our Microsoft Teams and Viva applications, knowing again that people are using them who aren't necessarily coming into the office every day like many did prior to the pandemic. So it's that notion of meeting people where they are, and normally we say that kind of as a metaphor, but here it could mean literally meeting them where they are, 1,000, 2,000 miles away, and making sure that they feel connected. We do have diversity and inclusion as a key element of our cultural attributes, and that means that we participate in that as well. If we're hiring talent that's not in Redmond but that's in Atlanta and Philadelphia and Chicago, do they feel a sense of affinity and connection with their colleagues who might still be primarily based in Redmond? So that's all part of that, and our benefits obviously have to reflect that as well. We can't have a benefits portfolio as if it were 2019. We have to be able to reach these people, and I believe that we are largely succeeding in that. The demand for mental well-being has increased post-pandemic, and we're trying to meet that demand again through regular channels, but also through these extended ways of connecting with our employees.